Hello, good afternoon, everyone. We're just going to wait for a few more minutes till everyone comes in. So I think we're getting a good steady flow of participants. In the meantime, I just want to reintroduce myself. I am Giulia Culina. I work at the Malta Chamber of Commerce within the Policy Department. And on behalf of everyone at the Malta Chamber of Commerce, I would like to thank you for joining today's webinar on digitizing your business payments. Allow me to also thank Ms. Tonia Naudi, who's here with us today on behalf of BOV. She is the head multi of channel and payments business, electronic banking services. And we have Perry David Schweer on behalf of the Malta Chamber. As you may be aware, the Malta Chamber has been organizing a series of webinars, and we're going to start organizing another few coming right up in the following months. May I take this opportunity to remind you to stay in touch with us, to go through our channels, and to stay tuned for all our events. So starting off, this webinar will be a brief address by Perry Schweer, and following that we'll have a presentation by Ms. Naudi. Thank you and good afternoon. I leave it in your hands, Perry Schweer.
Okay. Yes, I can be heard. Yes, okay. So good afternoon, everybody. Pleased to meet you all. I am very happy to be opening this session. I wish to thank immediately Ms. Tonia Naudi, present with us here today on account of BOV, to help us understand better the opportunities and the direction and vision driven by the subject of payments, which are driven by digitized platform. I am also very delighted to see this continued interest by our membership to participate in these webinars. In their serious numbers, I have to say, it has become the new norm to choose which subject matters to participate in and derive from, but also to be doing it from the comfort of one's workplace or one's home in a manner which is very efficient, very low carbon footprint, but certainly very effective in the way we make use of our time. As you know, the importance of digitalization of services has become a topic which is not only interesting, but also very essential in the manner with which we are able to react to a developing world, a developing economy, but also the lessons learned from COVID. The Chamber itself has embarked on its own digitalization process, amongst which this webinar is just one example. As you know, we have had many events starting pretty much from March, where digitalization has been at the forefront of our mindset, of our way of doing things, of our efficiency, also of our safety. And we have invested heavily, not only in thinking process, but also in equipment and technology that will enable us to reach out to our membership, but also to the public at large in the most efficient and effective of ways. We have also invested in a members gateway on our website, which has been launched about 2 months ago, which will help us be even more connected and efficient in the way we are able to communicate with our membership. I wish to thank BOV for being, as usual, very creative and very innovative in their actions, in their promotion, in their strive, in their vision, to be able to help not only themselves, but also the customers and of our country in making use the best of technology to ensure our safety, but also our efficiency. The budget is around the corner. Next Monday, we'll be hearing our Minister of Finance delivering his speech in relation to the government's vision for the budget of next year. As you know, we are talking about a budget that is the budget to be a formative budget that will affect and influence the manner with which we want to see our economy in the next decade at least. And we have promoted the idea of a fund for the digital contactless solutions that will enable us to address what we think will be a very important factor in the way we progress, which is contactless services, contactless business, and therefore the use of technology to be able to do this. Amongst which, of course, payments and the way we transit our own money and pay for services and products, and therefore the ability not only not to interact with a bank, but not to interact with actual cash, and making use, therefore, of technology to do that. Also safeguarding our healthcare industries, our digital care services, and also our seniors and vulnerable people. These are areas that we understand are priorities today in the light of the fact that we're going to be living with COVID for quite a while. So the landscape of digital payments is a matter which is very important to the business community, to the chamber, and here we are now taking this even more seriously and deepening our thoughts with this webinar. The speed and the efficiency of payments are the essence for us to switch to a digital era which is considered to be key. We thank again BOV for being a crucial and pivotal part in this process. I thank BOV for taking time out with us this morning, and even more so thank Ms. Tonya Naudi for offering us her time to be able to offer her expertise and her knowledge in this area moving forward in the next hour or so. Thank you so very much. Ms. Naudi, all in your very good hands.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll be sharing. So. If you could just give me one moment, please. Okay. I think we're set. So thank you very much for inviting me for this to deliver this presentation. It's all about digital payments, digital channels, and what Bank of Valletta has to offer in relation to, when I talk about digital channels, I'm mostly focusing on internet banking and mobile banking. As we all know, in this time and age, consumers are too busy to go to outlets, to go to branches. And what we learn and what we read mostly is that mobile is the next big change. People expect and consumers expect that through mobile, they are able to do all their banking services. In actual fact, as we say, people would like to carry their banks in their pockets. Why not? And because of this, we have, from a strategic point of view, Bank of Valletta has and is continuously addressing the customer's needs and moving customers as much as possible to use our digital channels. Regulation as well has played a very important part in this. Why? Like when we mention PSD2 or SEPA, these were all the driving forces as well that led the banks in general as well, because of the regulation, to move to more electronic, what we call straight-through STP processing. When we talk about making a SEPA payment, we need the IBAN and the amount. Payment is in euro, and a payment can actually be made because we have the IBAN. The IBAN is the international bank account number used within the community. And when I mention community, I am referring to the SEPA, to the EU and the SEPA, all the SEPA countries. So mobile banking, going back to what I was stating previously, we can see it from the bank's perspective, the future in actually transacting in the most easiest and quickest way possible. Why? Because speed is a source of value. We as customers, we want to make payments at whatever time we want, at the leisure of our home, anywhere where we are, we can actually carry out a payment. The payment landscape is changing, and we must admit that digitalization has not only placed pressure on the banks and financial institutions, but also on corporates. Why? Because certain changes in actual payments being processed, the data required in each payment transaction, because data is important to actually analyze as well what type of payments are being processed, and help corporates as well to also promote services. And for banks as well, this is also very important. Now, that is like not an intro to my presentation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to focus mainly on internet banking and mobile banking, and also describe certain services that can help you actually make payments in a more, how can I say, easy way, and also that in actual fact costs much less than going to a branch, physically to a branch and making a payment. Let me compare a manual payment to an electronic payment. Would you pay 30 euros to make a manual payment, as opposed to making the same payment but for much less, for 1 euro or 4 euros, as opposed to the 30 euros? Would you instead do it in the comfort of your home or at the office and make multiple payments at even much less than 1 euro and 4 euros? I think the answer is to try and understand what electronic services and products the bank has to offer, and then see how, with the same type of instead of actually physically going to the bank to make a simple SEPA payment, for example, you can actually do that payment yourself at any time of the day, using either the internet banking platform or the mobile. Now, just a little bit of history. We were first, as Bank of Valletta, we were first to launch internet banking in 2002, and for the launch of mobile banking in 2012. Following that, apart from internet banking and mobile, we have a fleet, about 97 fleet of ATMs around Malta, so that can also service the customers. And instead of having to go to the branch, you can also use, if you really need cash, all right, you can use our ATM services. Also, the drive that we are driving our customers is to move away from cash and checks more onto electronic payments. As you are aware, and I'm sure you are, and with the revised tariff of charges that we have recently published as from 1st September, you are going to be charged €1 per check if you issue more than 100 checks per annum. So how can you move away from actually writing out a check? Checks are quite, I would say, an archaic way of making payments, and move to digital payments. It would be even safer quicker, faster, and as regards to customer experience, it is much easier. Also, I must say that although I'm going to emphasize on focus on internet banking and mobile banking, but also there are also cards. And recently, we have also increased the contactless limits, as you are all aware of, to 50 euros per transaction, and that gives more ease for the customer to actually transact in a simpler way. Now, the service is offered through internet banking. I can make a single payment through internet banking, whether it's SEPA or outside SEPA. That doesn't matter, because as long as you have the basic details of payment, the purpose of the payment, the IBAN or account number, but most of the banks now use IBANs, you can easily make a payment through the system. You can also batch payments. And by the way, batching payments, especially for when I'm mentioning the corporate client, sole trader, or a small business, and you have a number of payments which you may batch in and upload through internet banking in one action, in one load, that too offers you the opportunity to pay even less charges, bank charges, than if you make them a single payment. In fact, I can say that if you make one single payment, let's say it's up to the value of 1,000, you are charged €1. But if you batch a number of payments, if you have a batch of, let's say, 8 to and over payments, for one payment, you are charged only 15 cents when it is a SEPA payment. So that's it. That's the difference. The more payments you process, the less you pay. Through internet banking, you can also pay a bill. You can include, if you have a company and you wish to collect money, you can also apply for this service, where you're included in the list of payees. And this is another method where the customer, at the comfort of home, can pay you through this function. Move money between accounts, and then obviously the other basic functionality offered by internet, through internet banking, you can view your transactions real time. You can also export transactions. For example, you want a number, you want to export into Excel for a span, for a period of time, a number of transactions, you can also do that. Or else you can even view just one transaction and have it a print or save it for your use, etc. You can do that also through internet banking. Also, as a non-personal customer, being a sole trader, again, I repeat, or a business or a corporate, you can also have a user administrator where he can assign different rights and functions to different users, depending on what you as an administrator would like to have across your company. For example, I want to have a person responsible to actually key in the payment or upload a batch file, but I want another person to authorize to check that payment or to check that batch file. So it is building a segregation process where checking also within the company can take place, and that can be done through the system as well. So how can one access internet banking? We have basically two methods. We have the hardware token, which is that white that you're seeing on screen, that white device. It is a secure key device, or else you can use the software token, which has the same functionality as that hardware token, but even more. And I'm going to explain this, because on your mobile then, your mobile banking, in the landing page, once you registered for mobile, you have the BOV signatures. The BOV signatures is, in actual fact, the software version of the hardware token, and you can actually access internet banking, use your user ID, and then using your mobile phone, you click on the BOV signatures, and there you will have generated a one-time password, which you key in on internet banking on the screen, and you can actually access your internet banking most securely. We have recently updated, a year ago, updated our security mechanism, and now that security mechanism is in line with the PSD2 requirements of strong customer authentication. Using the software token, as opposed to the hardware token, apart from the fact that it's free of charge, and the hardware token carries a charge of 10 euros per token. You can also authorize a number 5 transaction at one go. You don't need to authorize each and every transaction individually. Now, this is the screen, the landing page when you access your internet banking. Apart from that, you can access through multiple devices. As you see, there is the login where once you click on the login, and this is the welcome page where you key in your user ID and the one-time password. And also another function within internet banking is that you have the ability of the bank passing on messages, which is very important, because we believe that once you have the online access, online visibility of all your accounts, you can actually communicate with the bank. We can communicate with you, the customers, in an electronic way. And therefore, we use the inbox, the secure inbox through your internet banking portal to pass on certain messages that are very important, or certain changes that we will be in actual fact doing. Now, I'm going to browse through the different types of functions that are available through internet banking, just for maybe even some things that I might highlight that are important and that were not maybe given that importance before. So under my portfolio, you can view all your accounts, investments, and also move money between my own accounts. You can create friendly names. You can print, as I said, recent transactions, and you have also the facility to print a statement from a certain period. And even the statement would be also printed having the logo. It's like an official statement, so that is made available for you. And the other functions like view statement images, view check images, you can open a new bank account, you can move money, etc. It's all within the respective function of My Money. So through that My Money function, you can carry out all those functions. This is how you can make the actual payment of move money between an account. So it is basically, you go step by step. It helps you all the way through. So it's automatically, you just click on which account you wish the funds to be withdrawn and to deposit to. It's quite easy. The flow is quite easy how you can make a payment. As I said, through internet banking, you can pay a bill and you can send a local or foreign payment or set up a standing order as well. So through my payments, you can carry out those three different types of functions. This is the screen where you have to pay a bill. So you can, it goes by, you have a list of the payees where you can actually choose from them. It's in alphabetical order as well for ease of reference, and you just choose who you want to pay to. And then, for example, if I want to pay a school, then I know that I need to key in the student's number or the student's name or the invoice number or the account number. It depends. It depends the invoice that you are paying. So that it is set up according to the type of company you are paying to or utility company you are paying. Another thing that is very good, and I think it saves time, is the creation of templates and saving of templates. So basically, if you know that on a monthly basis you are going to pay your sister, I don't know, I'm paying my sister so much, then I can create a template and save it. And then the next month, I can just change the date and use the same information without repeating, without having to key in the data again. So that really safe. And it's not only used to pay a bill, but also even if you want to make a future dated payment, or if you want to make an outward payment that you know that it's a recurring payment, you can save basically the information, and you don't have to key in the information again on a monthly basis. So this is what I was explaining before about the payable to, and you have the list of customers available. Now I'm going to give you some insights into making a payment. The aim of this is to make sure that you key in all the necessary information, relevant information, to avoid any unnecessary delays in your payment processing. When I mean unnecessary delays, that the payment for some reason or other may be stopped because the bank is requesting additional information to be given before the payment is actually executed. So when you make a payment, first of all, the purpose of the payment is very important. Why am I sending this payment to the beneficiary? It could be a simple salary payment. It could be a gift. It could be settlement of an invoice. But the purpose of the payment and the details, or instead of purpose, let's say the details of the payment, it's very important to the bank to make sure that we understand, especially if the amounts are very high amounts, we understand where the payment is going, to destination country, and the destination, the ultimate beneficiary. That is very important in order, what we call the look-through of the payment. So I know that Tony Naudi, has made a payment, and I'm sending the payment, I'm paying Julia Aquilina the sum of whatever, 1,500 euros, but I know that I am giving her, this payment for the settlement of invoice number, so and so. The more you include details in your payment, the better, because we encourage straight-through processing of the payment. You incur less costs, less bank tariffs, because at the end of the day, it's all about giving the bank the necessary information. Once we are satisfied with the necessary and all the checks and balances have been carried out, then the payment leaves the bank to the final destination. Each payment is filtered because that is what a bank does. We need to check for AML, checks and balances, KYC, etc. So that is part of the payment process. But having the right details in place, then we will be able to execute the payment as early as possible. So this is a snippet of the screen when you'll be sending money. And we also inform you, giving warning, if you input an invalid IBAN, because there are checks at source which validates the IBAN. The IBAN is the main identifier of a payment. And that IBAN is through validations, the system can know whether this IBAN is a valid IBAN or not in actual fact. Before authorizing the payment, we give you a forecast of the payment, and we also, in that forecast, you are exposed to all, you are presented with all the information of that payment you have actually keyed in. Therefore, if you see that you do not like that you're going to be charged so much for that payment, you can actually stop that payment and don't continue with the payment processes. In the sidebar, we have a section where there is the additional information, and that is very important. Why? Because in that section, we include certain tips, call them tips, which help the customer to key in correct data. For example, I have there in front of me that specifically for USD payments, you will need to key in the SWIFT code. So that is something specific to that type of payment. Another thing that I would like to share also is that the length of when you key in the details of payment, the maximum number of characters is adequate enough, 140 characters, for you to key in as much information as is required. And there is no truncation, because whatever you key in, finally, is you can see that in your account statement. Now, something which, as I said at the beginning, which costs less, and I believe that it helps even speed up payments, especially for corporates and the non-personal customers who have multiple payments to pay on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Using the batch payment system is a quicker way to actually carry out this operation, and in actual fact saves you a lot of time. We have the application on our website, and by clicking in bov.com, then going to the business section and clicking on products, you have the service, salaries, and batch payments. And there is a simple application that you can complete. We receive it, my team receives that application and starts the processing. What does this actually entail? What it entails is this, that using a file, it depends. Now, if you're defined as a corporate customer, you will be given the SEPA file format, the ISO 20022 XML file format. You can include the multiple payments in this file, upload the file through internet banking, and there the file is processed. A lot of the corporates use this type of file for salary type of payments. Even for supplier payments, this is a file that is mostly used. So basically, here you have the steps what happens throughout the process. an agreement is signed. There again, on the website, we have all the information required, even the agreement information sheets, the file format, the technical document of the file format. It's all available for you if you click on that. In fact, there is a direct link, which I've also pasted in this presentation for ease of use. Now, why did I mention corporates and then there's the micro enterprises, sole traders? Because the regulation, let's put it like that, when we go back to the SEPA end date regulation, it obliges corporates, so it's an obligation for corporates to use the SEPA file formats. However, if you are a sole trader or a small business that you don't have the IT expertise, let's put it like that, to create this type of file, then we have an alternative. We have a system of batch payments as well, but as you see, as I'm showing you, because I've showed this to show you how simple it is. It is an Excel. It is a simple Excel. The Excel we are used to. It is just that we have headings there, and you can actually, this is a sample file which I've created. Just it's the reference number, the amount. It's very simple, and you continue adding and adding and adding, and then you save it in a file. And the file for us needs to be in a specific file name convention that obviously when we come to communicate with you that can be discussed, testing will be done. And once again, the file can be uploaded through internet banking. So there are we offer different types of electronic services for the sole purpose of enticing our customers to move away from making manual payments, checks, or even going to the branch and make a request for, and it saves you time and money as well. Now, how do you upload? When you access your internet banking, you have three icons, extra icons. The non-personal customers have three extra icons down below: the upload file encrypted, upload file unencrypted, and the download messages. And I'm going to explain very briefly what the three of them support. So if you encrypt your file, the SEPA files, you will be uploading that through the upload file encrypted. The Excel you upload through the upload file unencrypted. And what is the download payment messages? They are, once you upload the file is processed, the payments are processed through our payments system, and then any rejected item will go back to you, and you will know when you click on the download payment messages and you have the list of rejected items. So everything is done electronically. This is the explanation that I have just done. This is regarding now how to upload. When I told you even previously, I've explained that you can have someone uploading the file and the second person authorizing the file and giving the second authorizer different limits. It is very important also regarding the execution settlement dates. Why? Because we obviously follow the SEPA rules and regulations given to us by the EBA, and our business day is defined as Monday to Friday, both days included, excluding Saturdays and Sundays. And I'm stating this, and public holidays in Malta. I'm stating this because the way we process the file depends on the date you key in the execution date in the file. So, as an example, today is the 15th, tomorrow is the 16th, you prepared the file today with an execution date of tomorrow, the 16th. Once you upload the file through internet banking, on that day, what we call booked transactions, which is the BOV to BOV transactions, those are executed immediately. The others, going to other banks, we follow the D+1. So the interbank settlement date will be tomorrow's Friday. So that they will be executed, they will be in the beneficiary's account on Monday, because Saturday and Sunday are not. So that's how it all works. This is a brief overview. So now what I'm going to do is I'll give you a very, very brief overview of the administrator, the function of the administrator. The administrator on internet banking can manage user rights, and manage new users, delete users, update the rights on accounts as well. So he is the super user, let's put it like that, on the system of internet banking. So this is an overview of how the system administrator will access what he sees. He has the manage rights and set signature rights, and all the functions down there, which actually he or she can assign differently from one user to another. This is something I've already explained, that to access internet banking, the different types of tokens, the hardware token and the software token. Now I am going, so that is an overview of internet banking. Now I'm going to give you a very quick overview of mobile banking. Mobile banking, what type of payments you can actually make through mobile banking. First of all, there is My Financials. My Financials, let me give you, so there is the My Financials. You can make a mobile to mobile payment, mobile top up. Then there's the BOV signatures, which is a software token. There is the BOV Pay. What is BOV Pay? You can have your own card, a credit card, for example, a Visa card, stored, the details stored in the BOV Pay. So all you have to do, if you want to use, you want to go to a shop, you want to pay by card, instead of actually taking out the physical card, you can only tap using your mobile, and payment can actually be affected. And very recently, last September, we have launched the Pay Third Party as well through mobile. So basically, now you can make any type of payment using your mobile banking. Now, very briefly, each and every function, what does it do? So My Financials. In My Financials, you will have a list of your accounts, savings, current accounts, credit card accounts, loans, etc., all in a list. That's My Financial. And then when you click into each and every one, you have a series of the actual transactions. So you can have a view of your balances, available balance. Even if you have a loan, you can, the loan when it is due, when you first paid it, etc., etc. So that can help even manage your finances. Also, you can make a mobile. Well, what is a mobile to mobile payment? A mobile to mobile payment, or bill payment facility. Let me explain the bill payment. The bill payment, as I've explained on internet banking, you can also make it through mobile. It is the same process. So you can save a template. You can pay any utility company, and the same detail appears as it's shown on internet banking. So that is quite easy to do as well. The mobile to mobile payments, as I was going to explain, you just need the mobile number. In this case, you don't need an IBAN, you need a mobile number. The only thing is that it is a BOV to BOV payment, and that there is a maximum limit of 1,000 euros, and that the end beneficiary, that means the person who is receiving the funds, is also registered to receive mobile payments. So, but although this is sort of, you say it's restricted to BOV customers, and there's another restriction of 1,000 euros, and the beneficiary needs to be registered. But we've gone a step further because we've introduced pay third party. So if I am paying again, sorry, Julia, I'm always using you. If I want to pay Julia, okay, and Julia is not registered to receive mobile payments, no problem. I can use this function, pay third party, still pay Julia the amount.
Yeah, if you want to give it a go, don't worry.
Okay. and even over 1,000 euros, I can use this function and pay anyone practically. I can even pay a beneficiary who is outside Malta. So, I mean, in the UK, for example, in Italy, anywhere, I can use this function and carry out the payment. It is secure. Why? Because as I explained previously, our security, the authentication method of authorizing payments is according to strong customer authentication under the PSD2 requirements. So I came to the end of my presentation. This, just as a closing slide, we know Maltese are fond of checks. However, especially during this phase of COVID-19, the pandemic phase, we have done a lot to move our customers to shift from checks to e-payments. It's amazing that I've just read, and I wanted to quote it really, that more than 529 million citizens who live in SEPA make 146 billion electronic payments every year. Wow, it's a great, and statistically we have seen a great shift of customers from checks to electronic payments. Even recently, very recent, on the local scenario, the MBA had issued also statistical data where they had also quoted in Q2 of this year, obviously, a 26% increase shift from checks to electronic payments. So yes, even in the local, it's not Bank of Valletta only. The drive is locally. It's us. It's in Malta. It's the community. I mean, the drive to electronic payments is there, and we want to embrace this change, and we want to help. We want to continue helping our customers move to electronic payments. We want them to pay less at the end of the day as well. Why not? Yes, because at the end of the day, it's a win-win situation for both of us. Reduce costs, reduce all those manual work that needs to be carried out in carrying out these archaic way of making payments, and real-time payments. Hopefully, the next step is real-time payments. I pay you within seconds now. Yes, why not? That is where we want to be in an actual fact. Thank you all. If you want more information, I have you can contact any branch of BOV. Maybe even Julia, we can also include email addresses, and you're free to contact us if you want to know more about how you can make e-payments and batching of payments, etc. I'll be more than happy to assist. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
So thank you for that very, very lovely presentation. May I ask you to stop sharing your screen if you don't mind? I wanted to start off by saying that we have a poll for this afternoon, and I'm going to launch it right now just to give you some time to answer the poll. The questions are: do you believe digital payments have made your business operations easier? And do you find batch payments easier to process? We're going to leave this on for a couple of minutes until we take a couple of Q&A, and we will be issuing the results in real time. So I've got a little bit of questions here from the audience, where one of them asked, does BOV offer a direct debit service for small businesses? I don't know if you can answer the question.
Yes, I can answer, yes. We do offer direct debit service. In actual fact, there are two services that we offer. We offer the standing order. So that is on the customer. The customer has to create the actual standing order, and it's always for a fixed amount. However, for SEPA direct debits, because we offer the SEPA direct debit, yes, we do offer that. It would be on your control. It is in a file format, so we cannot process single direct debits, but in a batch. And yes, basically we do. It's for a fixed amount, variable amount, monthly, weekly, etc. You can contact your branch, contact me. As I said previously, I can also include in the presentation, which can be shared later on, my email address and my team's email address. And yes, by all means, we can have a discussion around SEPA direct debit. Yes, definitely.
A next question is, do you have any plans to introduce direct debit and credit payment services via an API web service call rather than the manual online banking file upload? If not, why?
Okay, we have the facility of APIs, yes, because that is one of the things that open banking is all about, and that is part of the PSD2. As yet, direct debits, no, we do not offer that through an API. But we have other channels where we can also support direct debits. Apart from internet banking, that means upload a file through internet banking, we can also have a secure link, the SFTP. So it's a secure link between the corporate and the bank, where you can place your file and we can pull that file. Yes, in a more automated manner, but we have those options, but not through the APIs. But we do have open banking facilities.
So we have another question. We were getting quite a bit, so apologies.
Yeah. Don't worry.
So there's one. What are the charges per transaction / initial charges to be added to the list of payees? And which departments do we need to contact?
Okay, for the payees. So I'm assuming it's for pay a bill service. The charge is 47 cents per transaction.
We have another question. Whether BOV has an IBAN validator web service?
When a customer makes a payment, yes, IBAN is validated. Also, on the BOV website, you can actually get the IBAN from the account, and that is also a means of validating. But it has to be BOV. But there again, if you make a payment, validation is taking place, even when you actually carry out a batch payment. Once that batch of payments is actually on our payment system, we also have a validation process. And if there is a beneficiary IBAN which is not valid, then we report back to the customer that listen, this transaction has been rejected due to invalid IBAN.
Okay, thank you for that. Well, we have BOV Pay. We have not as a payer, but as an entity. How does it work, please? We just to latch on to what you just
said. BOV Pay is really related to card payments. So basically, if you have the details of the card, it is a system of tokenization. So the details of your card is actually on the app, okay, on the mobile. Once you download the mobile, and you key in the details of your card account, and there it is on the so that is what we offer. Basically, you have your own personal mobile, you go and pay and you tap. Now, if you have a corporate card, if the card is on the corporate name and or the name of the company and your name, the same applies. I mean, if you have entered those details in your mobile your mobile application, you have the details on your BOV Pay, and again, when you go and buy or purchase whatever, you just tap on the POS terminal and the transaction is made. As long as you have money in your account.
So we have another question. Can you have more than one card linked to mobile banking, as sometimes one does not always use the same account depending on the transaction?
Yes, you can have more than one. You have the default. Yes, you can have more than one account linked to your BOV Pay. Yes, and over and above, remember that through mobile banking you can view all your cards and debit, credit cards, whatever, and balances and whatnot, and transactions through the BOV mobile application.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much. I'm very conscious about the time, and since we have to issue the results, should you have any other questions, please do send them to my email, julia.aquilina@maltachamber.org.mt, or email directly Ms. Naudi.
Yes, my email address is tonia.naudi@bov.com. So if you want to just send the emails or whatever, and then just your contact telephone number, and we can communicate by telephone as well. Don't worry about that.
Yes, so thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yes, so let me just share my screen if you give me a second, please, so we can discuss it really quickly. So so we have the first question that asked us whether do you believe digital payments have made your business operations easier? We have a staggering 88% which have said yes. So clearly this is a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
And whether you find batch payments easier to process, 62% said yes, whereas 31% said that they weren't sure. Perhaps further clarifications on your behalf.
Please do come to us. I mean, apart from my email address, I have another email address, paymentsbusiness@bov.com. So we're happy, as my team also can contact you, discuss better your payment processes and help you achieve what you want to achieve. As I said, batch payments, less charges, less costs, less manual intervention, less errors at the end of the day. So we're here. We're here to help you out.
Thank you very much, Tonia.
Thank you.
I don't know if you have any closing remarks. In the meantime, might I remind everyone to stay in touch with us, as I said before. Get in touch with us, whatever you need. The Malta Chamber is here to help you, and I'll leave it to p.l.c. to give the closing remarks.
Thank you, Julia, and thank you, Tonia. I have nothing else to add. I think thank you for being so clear, Tonya, in your presentation. That has been a remarkable, very informative 1 hour. Certainly, digital transformation is with us. It's up to us to embrace it. Some of us have. I have seen some really, really good moves, some by some serious players in Malta. Others are yet to make that step. And I think it's for us to ensure that no one is left behind. And the little tools and the more complicated tools are made aware to us and ultimately embraced by us in the re-engineering process of how we want to see our businesses become more resilient and much more akin with where we really will be. So the faster we get there, the better. The tools are there. The people that we can reach out to are there. If there are any questions or any particular details that we need some support, then please do reach out to the Chamber, of course, but also to Bank of Valletta, to ensure that we become more efficient and therefore lead not only a better quality of life, but actually lead a more efficient business objectives, lead more efficient business objectives as we move forward and plod on. Thank you very much, and good afternoon to you all. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you so much, Tonya. Thank you, David.